Sanibonani guys, welcome back to yet another video, and we are talking about Isincane Lengane season 6 episode 2. Oh, you guys, one thing about Siyacela and Tando, they will drain your energy as well. They will drain your energies, these kids. I shame. Anyway, episode 3, you guys, starts off with Utando having a conversation with Siyacela, and she's basically telling him that she wants to change her marriage agreement from COP, from community of property, and she wants to change it to a prenuptial agreement. So in layman's terms, she basically wants the type of agreement where it's like what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours. Quite frankly, Utando is tired. She wants to be able to build for herself, because she feels like, ooh, Siyacela doesn't listen to her. So that's the reasoning. She says that Siyacela doesn't listen to her, and what's the point of building with a person and, building in a person in a sense of in community of property, purchasing things where you guys get to both share them, but yet the person does not listen to you and they have a mind of their own. And she brought up the issue of the car. The car, they bought it right, but she feels like Siyacela uses the car for him and his friends most of the time. But as we've seen, guys, we're only on episode 3. From episode 1, Siyacela has always been in the car with his brothers, with his friends, and etc. We've never seen Tando in it. So Tando says she hardly gets time to be in the car, even when she wants to do her stuff. She can't freely do her stuff because Siyacela is probably out of the car, gallivanting with his brothers and his friends. And yeah, she says basically he's always with other people. He's always with other people. And obviously, Siyacela is a gangster. Siyacela is like, you know what? You see, if you can build a house outside of outside of this yard, then you can go and change the agreement. Besides that, as long as you're still staying in this yard, that is not gonna happen. But like, I'm not surprised. Siyacela is very stubborn. Siyacela is stuck in his own ways. But I also feel Utando, her decision, it's sad because they got married when they were so young. They were only 16 years old. And these are stuff that you should talk about even before you are married. This is a very important topic, you guys. And I don't think Siyacela is even taking it seriously. He's not taking it seriously. I don't even think Utando knows how serious it is. I think she's just bringing it up because she's hurt that Siyacela doesn't consider him in his decision making. But it has, like, the impact of the marriage, the type of marriage agreement that you are in is very important, especially in a case like this where your husband is just like something else and you have a kid. Anyway, then they had a quarrel over Siyacela is basically like asking Utando, like, why are you complaining about the car when you can't even drive? Like, what you making a fuss out of when you can't even drive? And Utando's trying to explain it's not the point. Like, the fact that I can't drive isn't the point. The fact is that when I need to go somewhere, I need the car and I need you to be there. Then it's like, are you making a fuss out of nothing? Like, you like being dramatic? Like, why are you making a fuss out of something? Like, even if you take the keys, like, you can't even drive. So, like, why are you making a big fuss of this when you can't even drive? And I'm just like, Siyacela's not even trying to hear, like, where Utando is coming from. He just shut down the idea right there and then. And then he was basically like, he will never teach Utando how to drive. He won't teach how to drive because he's not at driving school. He doesn't issue out learner's license. He's not at driving school, so she should practically go to a driving school if she wants to learn how to drive. And then after they had that conversation, he goes back to the car, and guess what? Who's in the car? His brother's sitting in the car. They just chill in the car. Like, his brother's chilling in the car, and then Siyacela comes in the car. He's busy making a joke out of this whole thing, you guys. He's laughing at, like, the matter, and he's explaining it to his brother. And he basically says that if Utando had riches, then, then he'd be taking her seriously, like pertaining the conversation she had. If she had riches, then he'd take her seriously. But now she doesn't even have riches. She doesn't have nothing. He said she doesn't have nothing. So, and then they laughed over the matter. So he's basically saying, even for her to want to have this agreement where she can have things on her own, like what's the point of it? Because she doesn't even have money. And I'm just like, this guy's mad, disrespectful. And he's taking a conversation that they had, going to discuss it with his brother, and they basically like making fun of it and laughing about it. And the brother's like asking Usiatel, like, where did Tando like learn this from? Because the saying goes that you learn, there's like a saying in Zulu, like "Indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambili," meaning that you learn, like the people who have walked the journey ahead of you are the most like wisest people you can ask about the journey. So Sietle's brothers like, where did Tando like learn that attitude from, of that you can now like change your agreements to then have like your own stuff on your own? And I'm just thinking to myself, Setala clearly doesn't take his wife seriously. No, for real, you guys. This is like, the conversation is a family matter, and you go and laugh about it with your brother, like to say, like, it's kind of like saying, like, she's so like dumb. Like, Setala honestly does not take Utando seriously, you guys. And quite frankly, she sees it. But I'm just like, the way these two people are toxic for one another, the way they even speak to one another, I'm just like, it's a norm. It's a norm. Like Tina, so ikuza sitini because it's a norm. Tando feels fine. She feels okay about the fact that she speaks so disrespectfully to Usiakela. She speaks anyhow to Siakela, and she deems that fine. Never mind that it's her husband. Just to speak to anyone like that, it's disrespectful. Siakela finds it fine to speak to his wife and treats his wife in that way. I'm just like, this relationship is just, I don't know. I don't know. They need the help. They need the help because right now it's not looking cute. And then Siakela answers his brother when his brother was like asking, like, where did Tando like learn this attitude from? And then Siakela basically says, if you were raised by an unmarried mother, you can't receive right advice. So he turns it into a mother, like, obviously Tando, like, you can't expect her to like be making like good decisions or wise decisions in inverted commas, because quite frankly she's receiving advice from a mother who's not married. And then he says, who knows, maybe the mother called and advised her. And I'm just like, you see what I said in the other video, you guys? Tando's issue, I said that rule number one, you don't ever take your family's issues and give them out like that to your in-laws, even your husband, you guys. You don't, it's unwise. It's unwise. And it's not that there should be stuff that you're keeping from your husband, but you should be wise in how you portray certain things. Because tomorrow, that same husband is going to disrespect your family, and you're not going to be okay with it. And you can't tell him anything because you're the one who gave him that information. And vice versa. You don't take issues that you're having with your husband and then, tell them to your family, because tomorrow when you find with your husband, your family is not going to be able to forgive him. So I feel like Utando, her problem was that she went to and speak ill about her mother and her father to Usiatela, and that's why he can speak anyhow. Because where is he getting the guts to speak about Tando's mother like that? Like, does he know Tando's mother like that for him to even speak about her like that? Like, he is mad disrespectful for him to say that because you are married by an unmarried mother. Do you know that does he even know that there's some women out there who are not married today because they chose not to be in marriages like the one that he's in? You, I Tando, like, I don't even realize that she realizes what she did, and she continues to do it. She continues to do it. But then again, Tando is young, you guys. So I can't like completely like blame her for everything, because certain things you are privileged to know them because of your experience in life. So yeah. And then anyway, the next scene, the attention seeker. Thembinkosi, you guys, is an attention seeker. I've seen it for myself and I don't need any more validation. He is an attention seeker. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm gonna explain why. So the next scene, Thembinkosi basically, he is hosting a party for his grandfather. Listen to this. He's hosting a party for his grandfather, who is 84 years old, and he called the Tabete family, called his mother, his kids were there, his brothers, his aunt, the aunts, the uncle, everyone was there. Everyone was there except the grandfather. Everyone was there except the grandfather because apparently the grandfather, I mean, he's 84 years old, he was not feeling well. So I'm just like, what is the drama around that? Like, why would you have a party? I don't know, guys, explain to me. Why would you have a party for someone who is not there? They are sick in bed and you decide to have a party celebrating their life. Like eating, being merry, like drinking alcohol, like you guys enjoying while the person who you guys say is celebrating is not well. Aye, guys, that is just attention seeking vibes for me because why did you have to air that? Like, I don't understand. For me, it just makes sense that if the grandfather was not well, they should not have had the party. They should have postponed it, even if it was his birthday. They could have just went as a family to go and see him because he's not well on his birthday, and then case closed. Then when he's well, then they can make a party. Just doesn't make sense for me for why you'd have a party in the absence of someone whilst they're still alive. I guys, no. Mm-mm. And I just feel like he's shining through Utando. He's shining through his opportunity of Moja love. I honestly feel like that because Mkulu went there like, why? I don't get it with Timpinkosi. Like, I don't get. I also just feel like Timpinkosi knows if he really wants to save his relationship with Utando, he wouldn't be on the show. He wouldn't be on the show because, like, you can't want to dictate. He was not in Tando's life for many years, ne? While she was growing up. You can't then want to dictate how Tando's gonna suddenly want to receive you because people process things in different ways. So Tando, yes, we can speak about she's being disrespectful for the fact that that's still her father, but we can't dictate to her of how she must be feeling that this man practically abandoned her for the most part of her life. So he knows that Utando's relationship and his relationship are not on good terms. Why doesn't he just at least give her space to do her through the show and exit the show? I feel like if he really wanted to work things between Utando, he'd at least do that for her and try and fix things like outside of like television. Even though maybe she might not agree, I feel like that would be like a dignified way of dealing with stuff. Unlike every season, he's showing up, he's having scenes, he's getting paid by Moja Love, he is shining through Utando. He entered that show through Utando. Then he has his own meetings with his Tabete family, busy. I'm just like, no, sir, that is not, for me, that is not showing dignity. And I feel like you are more out. You want to protect your dignity and the family of your dignity. And that's why you are there and maximizing on I don't know what. Because even if Utando didn't want him, like for me, if I was in a situation where my child did not want me, I'd give them their space. I mean, Angiti, that's their show. I'd exit the show and give them their space. Like, why are you still here, Timbuktu? Like, why? I don't get it. Anyway, then Pinky says in a diary session that Utando apparently, because isn't this party that they had for the grandfather, Tembinkusi's children was there. But Tando was not there. Tando was the only child that was not there. So Tando apparently said, this is according to Pinky, that Tando said she won't come unless she's given money. So Tando's on some top, you would see that why should I be traveling up and down for you guys whereas I'm using my own money? So if you want me to be somewhere, send me money. That's what Utando said. And Pinky said, no, that's not right. You can't buy a parent's love. You can't buy love. Love should be genuine. And I'm just like, Pinky, I get what you're saying. But in order for love to be genuine, it needs to be grown. And I feel like already Tando and Thembingosi's relationship already like it's a rocky because of many reasons, but him still even continuing on the show. I don't blame Tando for feeling like Thembinkosi is just out to make money. Like, why is he still on the show? Like, I don't guess he's giving us content, but I'm just like, no, man. So anyway, so uh, should I skip to? Let me finish the scene of Thembinkosi and his family. So Thembingosi's daughter, remember the last episode, Tando met Thembingosi's other daughter for the first time. And Tando basically insinuated that her father paid Lobola for her. That Tando's father paid Lobola for Tando through Moja Love's money. So Tando's sister's now repeating that to Pinky and saying, I feel like Utando doesn't respect and regard our father. She sees him as a nothing. Like, she just umbugela panty. And she repeated that and she was like, I just don't like how Tando disrespects our father, especially like on national TV. And then Pinky was like, Tando should have asked because when we paid damages for her, damages as in, damages in the black culture. When Tando was paid for damages, Pinky was the one who actually took out her money because Tando's father's not working. She took out her money and paid because she wanted like to do the right thing. So she was basically disputing that Tando was not paid. Tando's family did not receive Moja Love's money. It was Pinky's money. And then Tando's older sister also doesn't appreciate how Tando treats her father. She's like, at this point, the way Tando is so disrespectful, even if I see Tando on the street, I would not greet her. That's how disrespectful she is. The whole Tabete family, you guys really feel like Tando has been disrespectful. And that's because also Thembinkosi like laid it out to them and he said that Tando basically said she wants a monthly allowance. He must send the money for food. And she listed a number of things that he needs to do in order for Tando to love him. And I'm like, what's your purpose of saying that in front of your family? Like what's your purpose? I don't get it. I don't get it. But quite frankly, the Tabete family, quite frankly, at this point, they don't like Tando. And they feel like if Tando is going to continue to do this, like they are just going to disown her in a way, like they're going to give her what she wants and just leave her alone. And I feel like at this point, Thembinkosi should give Utando her space, man. Like give her a space and exit the show. Exit the show. Yes, your other two kids might have received you like well, but people are not the same. So like why you wanna be putting pressure on Tando to have a relationship with her? You know? And then at this like in the same breath I wanna say that Tando at the end of the day she should respect her father because a parent is a parent, regardless of whether, you have a healthy relationship with them. But yeah, Thembinkosi just needs to give Utando her space, man, especially in terms of this Moja Love show. Like, I really don't like what Thembinkosi is doing, and now his family is backing him up, and they saying that they don't like what Ulokuzana Utando is doing. And then the episode ends up with Tando calling a meeting with her mothers-in-law and basically relating the story to them that she told Siatela that she wants to actually change their marriage agreement. And obviously the wives are old school. They tell her that no, in marriage you need to persevere. There's no such thing as that agreement that you are doing, like it's just not gonna work and all of that. And I'm just like the advice they gave her, yes, like it's old school in a sense, like that whole advice of you need to persevere. Like Usiatela is not an old man. They both still can. I don't know if Siatela can learn, but they both need to it shouldn't be where Tando's the only one receiving counsel to become a better wife while Siatela is not getting the counsel on his end, which means she's putting in work in vain because no matter how good she can or better she can get, as long as Siatela is like that, nothing's gonna change. But I liked the perspective the one wife gave. She said that mentally when you start doing that with your husband that you want to start separating stuff because at this point Utando said that no, she is giving Siatlela everything. She's giving him the car, all of the furnitures that she received. When she got lobola, like he can take it. She's giving him everything. So she's basically saying, like, I don't want to fight over anything. He can have all of this stuff. Like, I want to build from scratch, and I want to know when I'm building from scratch. When I buy a teaspoon, it's basically going to be mine. So I'm building for myself. So the one wife was saying, having that mentality of building for yourself doesn't strengthen a marriage. It's only going to do much more harm than good. And I agree, you guys. I feel like that agreement, that contract, it's there to protect people, right? It's not there to bring like animosity between a husband and wife. There's many benefits of why people would enter into that type of contractual agreement. But I feel like mentally, if you're gonna do things that way, it's really gonna create a disconnect between you and your husband, and you guys building for your child. Because at the end of the day, you guys do have a child. But Siatlela ended up agreeing. He was just like, you know what? You know what? I don't beg a woman. I don't beg anyone. I'm going to give you what you want, and I'm just going to sign. I'm going to go with you to Home Affairs, and I'm going to sign and give you what you want because I'm not going to beg you. And that's basically how it ends. I'm just like, these children, the way they have drama, you guys, yeah, they have a long way. And if they're gonna, they need help. No, they need help. Anyway, guys, please do make sure that you like the video. Please do also subscribe. It is absolutely for free of charge. If you appreciate and you enjoy these commentaries, please do support it or support me. There's a thanks button at the bottom. If you just scroll, that thanks button is basically just supporting me as a content creator, and you can gift me from any amount from 14 rands upwards. I truly appreciate it. But I'll see you on the next one, and bye for now.